This is Vee Trades, and today I'll be doing a technical analysis breakdown for NVIDIA. They are in the semiconductor industry, which means they work on artificial intelligence, gaming, and consumer hardware. Before we begin, please take a second to give the video a like and subscribe for more chart analysis. Also, thank you to those who already subscribed and like my videos. It means a lot. Just a reminder that I have no positions in this company, so I'll give an unbiased viewpoint. We will start out the technical analysis by going over what I see in the daily chart and potential price targets. Then we will wrap it up by looking over the long-term pattern on the weekly chart. So the first thing that we could do is look at the recent price action. So recently it looks like NVIDIA was in a spike in channel, and I'm going to go ahead and show you guys that right now. So this was the spike up right here. If I contain it within this trend line, and then if I put a channel for the rest of it, you can see that pretty well right here. This fits really nicely right there, and then we had two touches on top, a few touches on the bottom, and then there was a gap here, so it looks like this fits really nicely. And then we sold off right back to test this level previously price made. I'm going to circle that, so you can see that was pretty much like a double bottom. Tested it once right there, and then we came back to test it again, and then we had a push above the EMA and found some support before continuing higher. However, price looks like it broke outside of this little mini range, which is known as a congestion. So it looks like price is going to come back to fill in the gap. So there's a gap over here, which like it filled with this red candle, and it might come back to fill in this one right here. So it looks like we can find some support at this $200 level before continuing higher, which is very possible because recently we had the spike in channel. So if we get a first break outside, price usually goes up to test the highs, or many cases makes a new extreme. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys the targets later down in this video. And also, since we made two legs up, that's why we're seeing a sell-off right now. So this was the first leg up, and then we had a little two-legged correction, which means the center of the pattern. It's hard to see it, but if you're an experienced chart reader, you can see that price went down, pulled back up, and then tried to go down again. So that's two legs. So it pretty much looks like this. So we went down, we try to go up, and we went down again. So this looks like right over here. And then if I just drag up the first leg and the second leg, we pretty much met the target, and that's why we're seeing some resistance and people taking the profits right here. So that's why we're pulling back just a little bit to continue higher, which I think we will continue higher because it looks like we're possibly still inside of a larger channel. So if I use this swing and I connect it, it looks like we're getting a few touches right there and a few touches at the top. Doesn't fit really that great, however I still think it's in play. I'm going to change the color to yellow. Give me 1 second. Let's get the yellow color on here. So that's the yellow channel I was talking about. We got a few touches at the top, about 3 touches on the bottom, so it looks like it could be in play, and we're going to pull back to test this little range and maybe the lower side of the channel before continuing higher. And I'm going to go ahead and show you guys the potential targets. So if I zoom out on the daily chart just a little bit, you can see that these were the lows right here, this $31 level. Obviously NVIDIA seems like they had some stock splits, so this $32 level doesn't really matter, but it's still these are the lows that NVIDIA was at before continuing higher. So that would be the first leg starting point. I'm going to put a horizontal line right there. So this is what I'm talking about, and then we use that as a point of reference, and then the price made this crazy move up, and then we went sideways. So if we were to find another target after price continued higher, we use the end point of the first leg, which was right here, and then this would be this target that price looks like it's trying to reach. That's why we're still continuing higher, and we haven't seen like a major correction, like a sideways correction, or about like a 20 to 30% retracement yet. So this was a horizontal line right here. So about this 228 level, 230 level, it looks like price could reach, and that would be about a 12% gain. However, there's another leg that I see that price could also try to reach. It's a little less, but it's still something to look after. So this looks like one complete leg instead of this where it looks like it's kind of two. So this was the first complete leg, and then if I move it back up to that correction, end of the correction before continuing higher, looks like price could reach that 218 level. So expect some selling over here, probably about this much that we got back in early July, or even more, because these are strong points of resistance that price could find, because the market moves in twos. So people normally take their profits around these levels, people who are like traders, because they know other people can take the profits around that level. So it becomes like a self-fulfilling prophecy. So I'm gonna go ahead and explain what happened around here with the channel. So it looks like price was inside of a range, so we get most of the touches about right there, and if I drag it up, we get a lot of touches at the highs. So what price did was break outside the top side to trap in the longs and entice the shorts in. So instead of continuing higher, the market reversed and took their stop losses out, the longs, and they enticed the sellers to come in, and then they did the same thing to the sellers. So this was a false breakout right here, and then another false breakout. We popped back in to find support on the lower side of the range before continuing higher, and they did it again just one more time to get more sellers in the market, and then they just reversed it completely, and that's why we see this huge rally up. Bunch of short sellers who got squeezed, and people who had to get out of the market, and longs who got back in the market once they were out, once they got taken out by the market. So that's why we see this large push up. So we could continue higher, most likely, because these measured moves, and looks like we're still inside this larger channel up to the top side of it, and that looks like it would be a good point that price could start reversing from there. So that's pretty much everything I see on the daily chart. It looks like price had a spike in channel up. We sold off, came back to make a retest of this support level, and we found support. We continued higher. Price had a hard time pushing through the EMA, but we did. Price did it, because it looks like this larger channel still in play. So it looks like price is just temporarily coming back to test the range breakout and fill these gaps before continuing higher to make a new high and reach these targets at the about like the 218 level or the 230 level. So that's my targets. Now I'm gonna go and show you guys the weekly chart. So the long-term pattern that I see NVIDIA currently in is this channel working up right here. We get about 4 touches on the bottom, including this one, the first point, and then we got 2 touches on the top. That's why we sold off right here, and now it looks like price is gonna try to retest that upper side of the channel before continuing to the lower side of the channel. So there you have it. That was my analysis for NVIDIA. It looks like we're just temporarily pulling back to find some support level because we broke out of that mini range, and to fill in those gaps before making a new high and touching the upper side of the channel right about the 220 230 level. Thank you for stopping by and checking out my video. Make sure to check out the rest of the channel, since you might be surprised on what you can learn. Leave a comment down below on where you think prices are headed. Also share the video if you want your friends to learn about the markets. Lastly, I appreciate any feedback to help improve the channel, since I want to deliver great content to you guys. See you next time, and bye.